All right, so friends playing along at home, sorry, we watched a video to start. It's on Schoology if you want to find it, so I couldn't record their video, but theirs are today. So when we talk about the associative or commutative property, he talked about we don't want subtraction. We want to be talking in negative numbers, but with addition, right? So how can I change this to just addition? And I should really use some cards. Elias, what here needs changed? Like, what subtraction do I need to get rid of? The -4, right? So how can I change that into all addition? 7 stays the same, right? So then what do I put? Instead of saying minus, I'm going to do plus, but not just 4, right? We're going to use that instead of as a minus. We're going to use it as a negative. You could write this down. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. It's also on your homework. So now, which of those options up there shows that we've kept the same numbers, but just applied the commutative property to move numbers around? Talk to your neighbor. See if you guys agree. There are two. There are two. We're moving the numbers around now that we've got all addition. We're just moving the numbers around. So the only negative should be 4. Tommy, not here today. Feel better, dude. Anyone know why Clayton's not here? You said what? Yeah, that's what I was wondering if you got sick again. It's hard to like fully recover when the weather keeps changing and everything. Caroline, can you tell me one? Don't give me both. One that shows our commutative property. A, because 7 is still positive, 4 is negative. And wait, that one didn't even move any numbers around. It just kind of switched it to our plus negative. So that one's right, but didn't really do commutative property. Jimmy ran to the ran to the office. Major, can you give me one? You said B. 7 is still positive, 5 is still positive, 4 is negative. Let's check the other ones to make sure we didn't. Should 5 be negative? No. Should 5 be negative? No. I don't know where they came up with those. Try this. It's a bit trickier. Yeah, who would I be if I kept it the same difficulty? You gotta keep growing, keep getting better. What happens in this problem? There should be an alarm in your head. Talk with your partner. You're not talking to me. Talk with your partners. Hey, Jimmy just got back and could use the help from me. Jackson's got Liam over here. Talk to each other about what is negative, what is positive. What is negative, what is positive, like actually. Slow down. I feel like the first couple months I was very like. It's every school year. Yeah, it's like we gotta go. Liam, tell me one thing to do. But I only want one thing to do. I don't want answer. I want one thing to do. Why? Minus negative becomes addition. So 13 is 13 positive or negative? I'm going to write it in parentheses. We don't have to, but I like doing it that way, so I'm going to do it. Reese, tell me something. You can tell me an answer. Tell me something. You think C works? So 13 is negative. 13 is negative. 12 is positive. 12 is positive. 2 is positive. 2. Which property did C actually use since it grouped it? You know? Check back on your paper if you need to. Which one used those parentheses? The associative, because you're associating those numbers together. You're grouping them together. What is negative 13 plus 12? So this becomes -1 plus 2. What would that be? Just +1, right? Jackson, tell me one thing. I don't know. It's asking for 2 answers, so I guess there's one more answer. B or D? D, dog. Feet on the floor, man. You can change your seat if you can't handle sitting by the door. D, 13 is negative, 12 is positive, 2 is positive. Did they commute? No, they didn't move any numbers. Did they associate? All they did was simplify there, honestly. They did what Liam had said. Yeah, they did what Liam had said. Make the minus negative into plus. That's what he did. Questions on that one? Now I want to challenge somebody from your group. Raise your hand when your group thinks you have both answers figured out. Yeah, this one's a bit tricky. When you think you have both answers figured out, don't rush though. We don't really like subtraction. We don't really like subtraction. So, and then I guess write down those letters so I can kind of look at what you got. Okay, that's what I was checking. All right, so wait, write down the letters. Are these for this one? You can put your hand there, unless you want to. I just wanted to know who got there first. I was just curious. What? Did you just say the bad word? No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Don't gaslight me. Jimmy, can you tell me one thing I could change here to make my life easier? I don't need to know like an answer. Do we like subtraction? No. And I don't know about you guys, but I avoid things I don't like as we're talking like Halloween time, you know, like werewolves, vampires. I kind of try to avoid those. So to avoid this subtraction, I can rewrite that as 27 plus what?
-11?
Yeah! 4 was already positive, and 19 we now make negative. I know. Alright, so we have 2 positives, 2 negatives now. Owen, help me out. Tell me something or jump us to an answer.
I think one of them's A because
Go ahead.
you're adding. Well, it's what you just wrote down.
Yeah, A is exactly what we just wrote down. We said, here's how we make it easier. Boom. There's the answer we're looking for. Josh, what do you think?
I think it's also C since it was the commutative property. Just switch around the letters.
Now, why do you think they did that in C? What would that accomplish for us? What did they do? Jackson? Well, so we already, A took care of no subtraction. Why did they do commutative in C? Josh, back to you.
Maybe because it would be way easier to add up the positives and negatives before
Yeah.
you
They put their good guys together. They put their bad guys together. And then you said before you actually...
Before you do the equation.
Yeah, then you do the fight, right? So guys, if you look at this one, what's 27 plus 4? 31. What's... You don't even really have to think negative. 11 plus 19, then we can put the negative on it, right?
Yeah.
Who wins?
Good
guys.
guys.
Good guys by 1. Hey, I'm about to come around with the candy tray. If you can show me your high quality notes while you work on this one, while you work on that one. If you want any more candy from me this week, you're going to have to find me in my driveway Thursday night. Trick or treat. I give out candy. You think I go trick or treating?
No.
Well, because my driveway is really long, so we don't really have like a fire in the driveway. Unless you want to walk the 50 feet up to my front door. If it's raining, I will be on the porch. I will likely be in my Gigi outfit, unless I just totally decide to be lazy. If it's not raining, I'll have a fire in my driveway. You guys going trick or treating?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone feel like you're too old?
No.
Because you're not. As long as you have a good costume. Now, if you don't put on a costume, I'll show you guys my neighborhood if you really want, but I will not tell you where I live. It'll be yours that you have to search. I'm gonna keep walking. Got notes? Got notes? Oh, I should make like a shirt that's like got milk, but got notes. I'm walking away. I'm walking away, Jackson. All right. Before we can talk any more about trick or treat, we got to finish this math problem.
Trunk or treat.
So, I saw a church set up with that the other day.
Yeah.
Elijah, tell me one thing I could do to this problem to make us happier. Sorry, Elijah, you said to do what? Ooh, the minus negative. Be careful saying two of those negatives because it's really minus negative. That's going to turn into addition. Does that, like what do we want to do with the minus 22? Lakin? Yeah, we'd rather write it as a negative, right? So we could write 5 plus negative 22 plus that positive 13, and now plus positive 21. So we need to figure out which one of those options did that for us, and then which one of them either applied the associative or commutative. Clayton, again, feel better. Caroline, what do you think? Can you give me one? Yeah, D is exactly what we just wrote down, right? The 22 is still negative. The 21 became positive. Major, what about another one that applied one of those properties? A, do we want that 21 to be negative? Everything else was right until we got there. We don't want that to be negative anymore because it actually became positive. You want to try again or you want to pass it off? So the only thing negative is the 22. Everything else is positive. C sure looks like it. Questions on what we've done so far?
No.
Would you like to watch a little bit of that Dawn of Numbers video to get a feel for what the heck he was talking about? Because it's a great video. You guys are going to have to go finish it on your own if you want to, though.
I feel like we watched that